Welcome everyone, James here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a revisit on a product I reviewed about 8 months ago, which is this Asta 20 marine LED light for my reef tank. And yeah, just sort of take a look at how it's been going since I've been using the product, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, all these months on, and yeah, just generally a sort of a revisit really, and see if my thoughts and opinions have changed. So yeah, let's take a look. Just a quick one, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on weekly videos of mine. As you know, I put out weekly videos on all of my fish keeping antics, so hopefully there's something for everybody. Right, let's get to it. Okay, so first of all, price-wise then, so I just had a quick look online, and it looks like they have a newer version of this, I think with a slightly different remote control, and the price is around £50, UK pounds, which is roughly what I paid for this version, you know, sort of 8 months ago. So it seems like the price hasn't changed too much. Value for money, I actually think it is pretty spot on, where I would consider a Reef light maybe, especially with the ultraviolet options and the high spectrum and stuff. And yeah, as a budget light, I guess you're not going into the triple figures and the ridiculous amount some of these lights can cost. So it's a great sort of entry level light, especially if you've got smaller, say nano or pico aquariums. So yeah, I think the price is really good. So in terms of the products itself then, I think the biggest question is that would be on anyone's mind is how well does it grow corals? And I can probably say that it does a fair job with the just one light that I've got. I think maybe if I had two and extended the light maybe so that there was a bit more spread, then I would get a better growth. So you know, I think it's done a really good job. It definitely grows soft corals. I have GSP in my aquarium, green star polyp, lots of zoa corals which are soft, and I also have a LPS coral which is a Euphilia, so a hammerhead coral, and yeah, it seems to be doing really well at the moment, and if anything, that is sort of very healthy, and I've noticed that it started to grow an additional head, so I can honestly say that, you know, the light is doing what it needs to. As I said before, if you had a brighter light or something a bit more powerful, then maybe the growth would be quicker, but I seem to be getting on okay with it from, you know, the time that I've used it, so I can't argue with that really. So quality and functionality wise then, what do I think of it? I think that since I've been using it, the quality of the actual light itself is really good. The wire, that it's a sort of a bendy wire, so you can aim the light in whatever direction you want, is so solid, and I've moved it around a few times now and it doesn't seem to get worn and become all loose and sort of floppy, so that seems to be a really good perk to this the light. The fixing that it's on the aquarium is really nice and solid. It hasn't rusted or anything like that, which is great, which it shouldn't because it's plastic. But it hasn't gone brittle or broken at all, so that's really good. The light itself is done really well. I haven't had no issues with it flickering or coming on and off or any sort of weird things like that happening, so that's really good. The only thing that I have an issue with is probably the remote control. It's a bit of a pain in the bum to use. It's not really great in terms of like operating and stuff, because you have to faff around with a lot of the buttons and stuff, but it looks like they've addressed that issue with the newer version, so who knows, maybe that is a better option to try, you know, and if that one's the one that's available now, then that's great. So yeah, I think that's probably the only thing that has sort of bothered me in the past is the light, and also you have to the remote, and you have to, you know, make sure that you're pointing it to the infrared piece. So if you've got it plugged in, you have to kind of point the remote round the corner, so it's not a Bluetooth one or anything where it's a bit more sort of, you could click it anywhere in the room and turn the light on. But one thing I do love about it is the fact that once you've got the settings that you want, you can hook it up to a smart plug, for example, and have the functionality of like timers and wireless and using apps and things like that to turn the light off. So I think that you don't have to spend loads of money buying like one of the really expensive Reef lights with the wireless options, when you could just use a smart plug and set the settings to what you want. Obviously you don't get as much control there if you want to adjust like spectrum levels and stuff, but I think that it works well again as an entry level light to an aquarium. So I think light spread and everything. So one light for this aquarium behind me, which is a 50 litre. It does pretty well. Even I've tried extending the light as high as I possibly can to try and get a good spread across the aquarium, but being a rectangle, it does have a few dead spots. It kind of works out well because obviously corals and some of the macroalgae that I grow don't like heavy amounts of light, so having a little bit of a sort of a low light area actually works quite well for me. Maybe I would consider buying a second one just to even the spread out, as I said earlier. That could be a great option for me, but yeah, I think that this light is better used maybe on a more square aquarium, or if you are going to use it on a rectangular type of one, then you probably need more than one light. But I've seen a couple of people sort of you know, sort of stack them at the back and have them light up across the way, so it's no different to using some of the high-end lights. I think that it's just all depends on the spread of the light, really. I think that's it, really. I mean, I think that it's done really well for what I want it for so far. I have no plans on changing the light going forward. I think that it's doing really well. I'm really pleased with it, especially the corals look so good under the ultraviolet light. So there doesn't seem to be a reason to change yet. And for me personally, I like to know that I've got my money's worth for something, and I get so put off by really expensive products in the hobby. And yeah, I know that they have a benefit in the sense that they can last longer and be really good, but I just like to try and find that happy medium where you're getting something really good value for money and a really good product for it. So I think that this hits a really nice sort of medium there, and I'm really pleased with it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know your experiences, if you have any, of this light in the comments below. Or if you haven't, or if you've got any other suggestions of some good Reef lights that I could try out in the future, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you want to support the channel, all the links to my Patreon and my merch store and my social media feeds, if you want to come and chat with me on different platforms, they're all in the comment section below, so definitely check them out. It'd be really interesting to know how many people make it to the end of these videos, so if you did, please give us a hell yeah at the end of the video in the comments, just so I know whereabouts I'm going wrong, really. Yeah, and until next time, you stay safe.